When we look at the Microsoft Customer Agreement and we look at how this is set up, a lot of items become clear and how this differs from the old way of doing things through, for instance, an enterprise agreement and this new way through the MCA. And I've called out a few here on the slide that I want to go through with you one by one. So on the left-hand side, you see the old, and on the right-hand side, you see the new. And what is most important is how you sign the agreement. So in the old, you would still require a paper signature. You have the e-agreements tool, so that took the paper signature away a little bit, but Microsoft still needed you to log into a tool, set up an account, etc., and then finally sign that paperwork. A lot of customers still like the idea of wet signature, so they still go ahead with it. But you see that already a lot of companies shifted to things like DocuSign or something else, and they were asking, can I just put it into my system and then sign it through DocuSign? In the new, that's possible. You can do that with a digital signature. It's quite easy, no stress about it. The agreement structure has been massively simplified, whereas it used to be very elaborate and difficult with the Microsoft Business and Services Agreement that held all the umbrella terms, then the enterprise agreement document, then the enrollment documents, then you had to sign a customer price sheet to lock in your pricing. That came with the product selection form and many other documents. So maybe one enterprise agreement would consist of up to 10, 15 different documents that you would have to go through. In the new situation, what Microsoft states is Microsoft Customer Agreement is basically one document, about 11 pages, and you sign that and you agree to the terms in that, and then you are set up to start procuring Microsoft products and services. What's interesting to note here is that it doesn't contain certain items that you might have been used to from the enterprise agreement. So the way this works is you set up the agreement, but you need to add different clauses to your contract depending on the type of software and service that you want to buy. So in that sense, you will have to add terms and conditions as you go along, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in different part of the video or training. What's interesting here as well is the pages of the agreement. So I already said it would be 10 to 15 documents for an enterprise agreement. That would translate roughly to at least 20 to maybe 100 plus pages. And in the new situation, it would just be 11 pages. The days to process goes down significantly because of this. Microsoft in the enterprise agreement still does a lot of manual dealings in processing the enterprise agreement. So they would need to input things into, for instance, the SAP system on the prices that you've negotiated, on different terms and conditions that you have. All kinds of stuff that they need to go through is a lot of manual labor still. In the MCA, that will be more automated, if not fully automated, and that brings down the processing time from over 9 days to 2 days or less. And we've seen this happen already. They are quite fast with this. The amount of systems that you need to use in order to make sense of your enterprise agreement ranges from the VLSC portal to the M365 admin portal, Azure portal, contracts portal, e-agreements, you name it, and there were just a lot. Microsoft promises to reduce this down to max 4 different portals. And you've already seen this in the enterprise agreement as well, where they've tried to simplify a lot of things. So VLSC has slowly been phased out, and many of the insights can be gotten from the Microsoft 365 admin portal. Especially for volume licensing customers, you can now see your entitlements there as well. You had things like the MSDN portal. It's now the Visual Studio portal, which is integrated into the admin center. It's become much easier as far as I can see. I hope you agree. If you don't, let me know. If you still struggle, if you still can't find things, if it's still too much, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And finally, a big improvement that I already talked about in other videos is the invoicing, where it's very hard to match invoice to services of the enterprise agreement. But in the new model, that becomes much easier, and you have a lot of flexibility in how you want to set it up and the amount of billing profiles that you need. You can do it per department, per business unit, per tenant, you name it, and you can set it up as you please.